This is session 5 or 6. 6.
I think it's 6.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
We think it's 666.
We
think
It is session 6. I haven't written it down. Session 5. So let me do this. Session 6 of the year that never was.
So are we going for 12 sessions then?
Yes, 1 year. So, quick recap. Where were we? You had returned from the house from Tindalos, and went to go and see
Who we thought was a very nice woman.
Yeah, you went to the British Museum and spoke with an Arethal-looking elvenish person who invited you to go to the Stones at midnight. At which point she would help you. So after that, you went to the palace and met with Hugh Gardan, James Patterson, Her Majesty Queen Victoria, Queen Victoria, and then the Ice Queen, who gave you some information. Where's my bit of information on that? After which you decided to go and meet the Areth. You didn't do anything after that, did you?
I think we...
No, you went...
Did we freshen up or something like that?
Yeah, I think you went back to your place and just kind of tied yourself up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you then went... in a couple of days' time, you went to the Stonehenge. At which point, as she assisted you through the stones, the being that was trapped in 1980 came the other way, leaving you now trapped in 1980. In a kind of a weird dystopian nightmare.
Yeah, then we had the police attack on the...
Travellers. There was like a mini rave thing going on this police track. You made your way up to London to go straight to find the watchmaker.
Yep.
Found him dead, murdered in his house. You stole a Mark III Cortina in Salisbury, drove up to London. Then you found the dead watchman. Realised there's only really one person that can resurrect anyone at that time scale, who's a necromancer, who I was wrongly calling Spellstone. He, as far as you can remember, or as far as you might have accessed Solo's accounts, but you discovered that he was in residence in Boleskine House on the lake, on the shores of Loch Ness.
Yep.
A couple of other things you kind of realised. One was that Diamond Geezer knew the location of the Eagle's Nest, which at that time nobody else did. And that's off the coast of Grunard Island, otherwise known as Anthrax Island.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it contains the Terror, and you know it contains the Terror. You also remember how you got rid of the Terror last time. The other thing, there is an inactive, as yet to be blown up nuclear bomb in the lockup next to your lockup, or what will become your lockup in Bristol Temple Meads. But you are driving up north to Scotland, paying 49p a litre for 3-star petrol.
I'm just enjoying thrashing the motor.
You
Yeah.
stole this with a screwdriver, I believe. I think they are notoriously easy to steal.
Well, you remember, you know the phrase, drive it like you stole it. And I am.
Yep.
Fair enough, yeah.
So, you find yourself in the Mark III Cortina.
Yep.
You have had to remove the furry dice from the rear view mirror because you cannot see and drive with those huge dice.
You speak for yourself, mate.
And the Dave and Tina sticker over the front screen as well. That's had to go because you know
Want to make it?
that looks bad.
Wouldn't want to make it too obvious.
No. So you clean that up, and you're heading to Scotland. You were going to decide on the way whether you were going to go to the Eagle's Nest or head straight on to Boleskine House.
What do you reckon, lads? Got a full tank of gas? I can't think of the rest of this. I can't think of a suitable thing, but we got a full tank.
You've got dark glasses.
We got a dark
Glasses, full tank.
A nuke in the boot.
You're nuking. No, you've got a dead body in the boot. You haven't gone. You haven't got the nuke yet.
Oh, right.
If you get the nuke.
Well, that's the first.
So your options to get back.
That's the first question.
Let's go back a sec.
Sorry. Oh,
So just go back to time a bit. The way to get back to the future
haven't invented.
is
They haven't
clearly.
invented DeLoreans yet.
Oh, that's a shame. You could do with a DeLorean. That would be. I've just read. That should have been the thing, shouldn't it? Oh, that's really annoying. That's really annoying. You should find a DeLorean. No. Anyway, the way to get to the future is to resurrect the Watchmaker. Hope his powers are all okay, and he can then effectively skip you through dimensions.
That's what we're hoping.
He can't go through time, but he can skip you through dimensions. He could take you to the Kestrel's nest, and in the Kestrel verse is Tachyon, who is the who controls the key of time in the Kestrel universe.
Right. So the point is,
But
we need to get. The overall plan is we need to get into the Kestrel universe, be able to sort this mess out. Is that what I'm remembering correctly?
Yes. Now your problems are in the Kestrel universe. They have no idea who you are, so you're simply going to be going in there, going up to Tachyon and going, "Hey, mate, you wouldn't kind of send us back to the future, would you?" So that's a problem. From what Diamond Geezer can remember and knows of the Eagles and the Eagle's Nest, sitting in the Eagle's Nest in their trophy room are two objects.
Yeah, this was going to be my next question, right?
Yep.
Is there something in, or a bit of knowledge, something in the Eagle's Nest that we could take over into the other dimension and go to the chap we want to see over there and say, "You don't know us, but this."
But yes. So there are. There's certainly one of these objects. There's possibly both of these objects in the Eagle's nest. Just want to check a date first to confirm. Yes, so they vanished in the 60s. So in the trophy room should be John Ball's Kestrel flight ring.
Right, okay.
So all the Eagles had Eagle flight ring, gave them basic flight, and could communicate with each other. It's a kind of a massive rip-off of the Legion of Superheroes from DC Comics, but it's a basic conceit for mobile phone use in the 60s. Now, because John Ball had gone to the Kestrels and was a honorary member, they gave him a Kestrel version. So he has had a Kestrel ring that's sitting in the trophy room.
So,
because at this point in time, John Ball's still vanished.
So if we go and retrieve that,
then
that's basically our proof of it's our ticket home. It's our proof of this guy should take.
It would be advantageous. However, there is another object that may or may not be in there at this moment in time, and that is the Antikythera device, the working Antikythera device of the Eagleverse. The Antikythera device is the Eagleverse's key of time. It's a rather large clockwork object. Tachyon's one is more or less himself, but it's clockwork that can enable you to go through time. Whether it works or not, or whether it's there, you don't know. But there were rumors. You can't remember whether you saw it there, but certainly you remember the Keshel's ring. But it was one of the things that the in that classic image of Batman's trophy room, you see the dinosaur, the big coin, and whatnot. It's one of those things that was supposed to be in there.
Right.
Blimey.
Okay.
Sorry, the Antikythera device is where?
Yes, the Antikythera device is in the Eagle's Nest.
Oh.
So the Eagle's Nest, during the 50s and 60s, the predominant superior team were the Eagles, and they just vanished. And nobody knew where nobody knew where the Eagle's Nest was. There is a scenario called Legacy of Eagles in which you go and find the Eagle's Nest.
Yeah.
Mike's character, Diamond Geezer, has played through that. He knows where the Eagle's Nest is. He knows what's in the Eagle's Nest.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
there are complications to that.
So I think it's the stop Eagle's Nest.
So you have there's a couple of problems with getting into the Eagle's Nest. You know that in the Eagle's Nest there is a submarine pen. So it's off the coast of Grunard Island, and in the water there you need to go underwater into the submarine pen, open that up, and into the airlock. It kind of looks like a bad version of the Liberator. There is a number of domes. I'm meant to. How am I going to do that? I meant to do this as an image, but I completely forgot to. I'm going to put this in. Just bear with me 1 second. So there's a number of domes, of which one's breached.
Where are you putting it?
I'm going to put WhatsApp because that's simpler because my phone's attached.
Right.
So in one of those domes is the not the terror, the horror. The horror. So you also know more information about this than anyone else, apart from your compatriots on Earth at the moment. The Eagle's Nest is in fact the Beagle spaceship from several hundred years in the future. It lost orbit, crashed into Faroe Isles, and then ended up drifting and settling down close to Grunard Island. Years later, decades later, because it went through back in time, obviously, Windlord was searching for, helping the government search for places they could test anthrax on. And in doing that, he actually found the Eagle's Nest. It didn't register with him what it was. Mentioned it to John Ball years later. A few years later, John Ball rediscovered the Eagle's Nest and set it up as the base of the Eagles.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okie dokie.
It has his name? Plasma. I believe Plasma. Yes, I believe it was Plasma. Is attached to the computer. He's become one with the computer inside the eagle's nest.
Cool, blind.
Protector is still in a mental home. John Ball, Howitzer's dead. She's in the. I think you found her remains in the vehicle's dome. The other members of the team include Leprechaun, Multimax, Claymore, Micron, Excalibur, and Bandit the Wonder Dog. We ignore Bandit the Wonder Dog.
Nobody.
But John
Bandit
Ball,
the Wonder Dog.
Yeah, the dog. John Ball and some of the other members of the team are currently trapped in the plane of shadows with Mordred. They're held prisoner there.
Right.
There was going to be an attack from the plane of shadows through in Suez. So Anthony Eden orchestrated a war as cover for sending the Eagles in to prevent an all-out assault from the plane of shadows. Triple X is in fact was three people. One is currently with John Ball in the plane of shadows. One part of her is dead in the research dome, and the third iteration of Triple X is in an old people's home in Corby's old people's home, Dr. Cordu's old people's home.
Where we went.
I think Hex is still with John Ball. Yes. Multimax is dead. He wrote a autobiography of himself, and there's a page that relates to the Eagles, which you found. Leprechaun is in fact Hugh of the Silver Hand, the mythical Celtic version of Thor kind of thing. He's currently encased in amber in South America.
Yeah.
Excalibur is the Lady in the Lake, and it's currently sitting with the Lady in the Lake in a lake in North Wales. Claymore is the spirit of what's his name? That Scottish guy. That's it, William Wallace. So yeah, that's what you can remember.
Nice one, Ted.
But you do need to get into the dome. The other thing you have to do is there is the horror there.
Mm-hmm.
The horror. I think you might know this, but I'm going to let you know anyway. The horror is Ra.
In the sun god.
Ra, the sun god. He is an aspect of the Cry, those dog-headed creatures from the dog-headed aliens. In the far depths of space, just past the Pluto, there is a planet that's hollow on the inside. There's a small hole. You can fly into the planet. In the center is a landing place and a small door in which you can go into the Temple of Anubis.
Okay.
In the Temple of Anubis was trapped the Peacemakers, and they've recently been returned. But he was thrown through time, and he became a ball of fire. Crash landed in Crouch Chase. The Eagles picked up his carcass, took him to the Eagle's Nest to see what this thing was that had come from space. Kind of woke him up, and now he's just a raging elemental being who doesn't really know where he's come from. He's just a ball of fire, basically. And the horror is currently trapped in one of the domes.
Jesus.
Now, the last time you were here, you blew up the dome, flooded it with water, and that is kind of got rid of him enough to do what you needed to do.
I estimate that was once you mentioned he was a ball of flame. That was my sort of like to pierce another dome.
I can't remember which one of you did it, but one of you went out and blew up the dome. But you had to fight. You were fighting Overlord, and that they're not there. It's empty, apart from the ghost in the machine being plasma.
So the horror is this fire elemental.
Yes. So he's trapped in one of the domes. Which dome was he trapped in?
Flooded one?
No,
No.
research dome, I think, Kevin.
Yeah, I can't remember which.
Well,
Yes, research dome.
Makes sense. It's the one that's.
So the vehicle dome. So in the vehicle dome is it the eagle wing? Yes, you have the eagle's wing is in the vehicle's dome. Now, as we all know, the eagle's wing is in fact Hlu's magic ship that Inish Mananan gave him, the flying Celtic
The
ship.
one that we were on last time, yeah.
No, that's a pirate ship.
It's not
That's
that
another
good.
flying ship.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought it was better. Never mind, pirate ship.
Ancient Celtic flying ship, mythical Celtic flying ship that they call the Eagle's Wing, but it's in fact Hlu's flying boat that his dad gave him. Can't remember the name of the boat, but yeah. So, and this you're kind of rambling in chunks as you're driving up the 10-hour drive to Scotland.
Awesome.
Notwithstanding the nuclear bomb in Bristol Temple Meads. So your understanding of time travel is that you could go and take that and it have no effect on the bomb going off in the future for two reasons. Time is already written from your perspective. So if you decide to take it, it has already been that's what has always happened, and the bomb has already gone off because it's happening in your timeline. You're not altering time, you're experiencing time as it's going along. So you could take the bomb if you needed another nuclear bomb.
If we needed another.
Yeah. Well, a nuclear bomb.
I think
yeah, I hate it when you
So-
run.
The only other consideration is the next valley fjord, what are they called in Scotland? Locks, stretches, kind of inlets. So you've got Grunard Island, Anthrax Island. The next kind of inlet above that is Ullapool.
Ullapool,
Yeah, and that's where all the nuclear submarines are. At this point, they're Polaris. The ones before Polaris.
Poseidon, wasn't it? Before what's it?
So yeah, so they're the earlier versions of the nuclear that we had. Slightly early versions. I'm not trying to lead you and not trying to drag you down a nuclear holocaust.
No, but you
attempt.
just pointed out where we could acquire one or more nuclear weapons.
I always find, if in doubt, give the team a nuclear weapon and let them just decide how they're going to destroy the Earth. I mean, how to fix things. So if we strap the bad guy to the nuclear bomb, set it off, that's bound to destroy him.
Love it.
Oh, and the other thing that you were told by the White Queen, who's trapped in ice in Buckingham Palace, is that Thomas de Reimer and 30 hybrid elf-like creatures that were being bred in Westwich, were on their way to the palace to kill her because they worship the being trapped in the they blame her for the being trapped in the past.
I had forgotten about that, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, I did just until I turned the page and went, oh yes, that thing. Yes. So that's where we're at. Can't think of anything else that. Yeah, I suppose the other thing that you have on you that is that may or may not work is you have an acorn. No, you have a small plant, a little group-like
That's right.
plant that you were using as a communication device.
Yes, the acorn.
Mm-hmm.
Plant. Acorn, plant.
Yeah.
Does
So
it
you were
revert
using.
to acorn? Or, oh, no, you said it was still a plant, I think.
Yeah, you planted it and it grew into a thing, and it's a matter of taking the leaf off and using the leaf as a communication device. You have no idea whether that works through time or whether that will communicate with the Wormwood Synod and what assistance they could give you, if anything. You don't know. So in essence, if you can think of any other potential being superhero that exists in kind of Marvel DC universe, like if you want to go speak to an equivalent of a Doctor Strange, or go to speak to an equivalent of John Constantine, it's possible that beings like that exist in the universe. It's a matter of coming up with a sufficient plan to sufficient plan.
Okay then, Geezer, are we in need of a nuclear bomb? Is it worth just taking it for the sake of having it? Seeing if it actually comes in useful.
I might not. Yeah, I might not need salt and pepper, but do you think we should bring them anyway in case? We should put. Oh, well, we've got this nuke. Don't know what to do with it. Like a firelighter.
We are running rather low on them.
Yeah, do we need nukes?
Excellent. That is funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought we were headed to this Boleskine place, but perhaps we haven't actually pulled away.
You're on the road to Scotland. You can decide how far you are. You up? How far you are away? You're going to do maximum of 70 miles an hour in the Mark III, with all of you. Well, there's four of you in the car, plus a dead body in the boot.
Wait, in other words.
Yeah.
Well, I suspect the nuclear bomb's not going to go anywhere by itself anytime soon. I hope.
No, because it blows up.
Yeah.
It really has to be there to blow up in the future, kind of thing. However, you've lived that, so now you could go back and take it, but it still blows up because of the way time works in this universe.
So we could just carry on up to Scotland and pick it up later if we decide to.
Well, the thing that's confusing me is that this already appears to be a different timeline. But if that bomb's going to go off, why don't we dump it somewhere?
Because you can't. Even if we take it, the bomb's already gone off. That's what Ken.
Yeah, in your timeline, the bomb's gone off. So the time you're traveling, bomb's already gone off in your past. This is effectively your future. Even though you're in 1980, it's your future. The bomb's there in your future. You could take that bomb because it's your future. It's a little Bill and Teddy, but you can take that. It's not.
For the record, in 1980, it was a Resolution class ballistic missile submarine. What we were using. They were armed with 16 UGM-27 Polaris A3 nuclear missiles.
Yes, because it's Polaris, and then it was Trident. Yes. The current ones are Trident, aren't they?
And the Polaris, the Resolution class was replaced by the Vanguard.
yeah, we had to ask Americans if we wanted to for the codes to actually detonate any of them.
Anyway,
I believe that's Polaris.
so anyway, whatever.
So luckily, Diamond Geezer bought his Encyclopedia Britannica.
No, I
because he
just
hasn't
remember.
got,
don't forget my. Don't.
Encarta.
I can't even say it. I forget my brother is in the Navy. He would have told me all this shit.
Yes.
So that's my.
So generally, you yawned and went, "Oh, yeah, it's interesting," but you listened to the nuclear bomb stuff because
fissionable material is always interesting.
It might come in handy. That's one of the things that he's like, oh yeah, might come in handy. Ooh. Might need to know about nuclear bombs. You never know.
You never know.
That and first aid.
I mean, nuclear bombs are not just a flash in the pan, you know.
No, but this is an old 1950s nuclear bomb. That the Americans lost over Canada. Sorry, I'm just plugging my laptop under the table.
Yeah, sorry.
And I'm old.
Probably would have been I think. See some reference to it here.
Go with Broken Arrow.
When did they lose it?
I want to say 1956.
51? Oh, right, okay.
1950 something. So it's 1950 British Columbia B-36 crash. Or is it the disappearance? 56. Mars Bluff B-57. No. It's the one that crashed in Canada. Whilst you're deciding what you want to do, I'll...
Oh,
Oh, yes, 1950, December the 10th, 1950, location Quebec. B-50 jettisoned a Mark IV bomb over the St. Lawrence River.
So
No, that's not because that didn't get crashed. This plane, you can still go and see the crash site.
well, I personally, I think we should try and find Necromancer at Bolskin House. That's my vote.
You leave the bomb then.
Well,
It's not going anywhere. It's still stuck in that. So nobody knows it exists.
Well, it's
you guys.
A group decision. I mean, I'll go with.
No, it's fine. I honestly can't think what we would actually do with that bomb. And as you've pointed out, it goes off in our real timeline. So, yeah, point's a bit moot, I suppose. Hopefully, we won't miss anything here.
The other consideration
to take it out.
Diamond Geezer, the other minor consideration is if you take the bomb back to the future and are somehow compromised or caught with it, it contains the same material as the bomb that went off, because it's the same thing as the bomb went off Temple Meads. So you will be blamed for the genocide in Temple Meads because you have an equal.
Well, yeah, because bombs
another
have all
bomb.
got the same. Bombs have got a unique signature.
Yeah, they've got. Yes, the radiation or the nuclear material. That's how they know that the nuclear bombs that the 200 nuclear bombs that Israel have contain the same material from an American nuclear reactor.
All right.
Despite them saying they haven't got them. Which we are then given the coolest name on earth. So the man that told everyone that the Israelis had bombs is called Mordecai Vanunu.
What?
Which is Mordecai Vanunu. That is the coolest name I've ever heard.
That is amazing.
You know, that's better than Randy Bumgardner. But then everything's better than Randy Bumgardner. We should have had him as the British ambassador because we'd have had a field day. Anyway, so you're in the car.
So we'll leave,
driving along.
We'll leave the nukes out of it for
Getting a bit hung.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you can't really believe you're actually having this conversation. Should we take the nuke? Do we need a nuke?
Drive. We've got to find somewhere to pass the time.
Yeah.
It's a moot point there. It's a moot point anyway, because
Yeah.
we're now sort of like 6 hours away and going further away from Crystal Garden. So it would take us longer to get back there than it would just to get to where we're going.
Yes.
8 minutes from Bolskin, we like, fuck it. Turn around and
yeah, you get a Bolskin. Oh, that's what we could have need. That's what we need the bomb for. That would have come in so handy. Can you wait 20 hours? So I'm not going to worry about stopping for food or filling up the car with petrol because that's irrelevant, really. You can do that, no problem. So you are getting closer to a point in the road where you can turn left to the Eagle's Nest or head on to Bolskin, because it's Loch Ness, basically. Loch Ness and Anthrax Island. The other consideration is how would you get into the Eagle's Nest? You would need either the ability to swim to breathe underwater, a mini submarine, scuba gear, assuming some of you can actually scuba dive in the ice cold dark water of Scotland.
Yeah. I think what
freezing cold water of
Scotland. The fact that we need to go and talk to this guy first.
No, it's just it's considerations.
We don't have access to scuba gear. We don't have access to submarines. We don't have access. We need.
What abilities do you have?
I don't have any abilities that would count. So,
does anyone did any one of you have the ability? Have an ability that could facilitate, like if somebody has got Plastic Man.
Yeah.
Plastic Man, Elemental Man, Element Man. No, what's the other? Metamorphosis, and maybe Mr. Fantastic could create a bubble of air in kind of like a balloon-like structure, with the rest of you sitting in it. Arrange the density of the molecular structure of their body to
make a diving bell,
go under the water, and using and create a kind of silly looking diving bell with feet flapping, his arms flapping, with his head covered with a bit of skin, so he can see out but can still breathe in that small air pocket and swim down.
Might be possible. It'd have to be fairly small bubble, because otherwise you'd have to struggle to get it underwater.
Or you can change the molecular structure of your body to make it ultra dense.
Yeah.
To almost make some part of the outside of the body porous to suck in the water, to create a buoyancy, kind of additional buoyancy elements. I mean, the other possibility is literally go up to Ullapool and steal a nuclear sub.
Can we drive a nuclear sub?
Possibly
Can we drive a nuclear sub?
No. You can steal one, but I really am not gonna. I'm not gonna allow you to be able to. No, yeah. You'd have to kind of kidnap it, take the hijack it, and get the sailors to take it round to the base.
And that would be good, because I think those submarines have got some of that. They were equipped with nuclear. Yeah, but
8 nukes.
Just trying to work out whether they got
about 8 nukes.
Clear torpedoes.
Can I just ask a question of the ref, please, Kevin?
Yep.
Freeform shape change.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an implication that you gain any of the abilities of a creature, or is that just not the case? To me, the power description is a little bit wishy-washy.
Where is it? Freeform, shape change. Just shape change.
I've actually just read it. As soon as I've bloody said it, they do not gain any special characteristics. Keep their own normal.
Right.
Okay, so turning into a fish is just not worth it.
No.
Can't believe that I've got shape change and I
No.
still have to breathe air if I turn into an aquatic animal.
Yeah. Because you turn into a chair, but you'd be a human breathing chair, but still, yeah. I mean, you could kind of jury rig deep sea diving outfits and pump in. You're in a fishing area, so that you might be able to conjure up some kind of thing
Well,
to
the
go
only plan I
underwater.
can think of, chaps, is a Mercury Man entrapping us all in a hollow sphere. He can fly, so as far as I'm aware, that should provide propulsion to take us under the surface.
Yep.
Spencer might be able to teleport air into the bubble. He will have seen the outside of, the beach or whatever, the shoreline. So he should be able to teleport if we start running low on oxygen. And me and Terry are basically passengers.
Well, how deep is it?
Terry?
"20, 30 feet underwater. Just deep enough not to be able to see it.
Otherwise, not too far.
But you fly. So you fly. You can pilot a submarine into it, and it hadn't been found for years and years and years.
Well, your flight should be able to cope with that sort of distance pretty quickly, shouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll run
not
out
now
of
we know
air.
it's that sort of distance. That shouldn't be a problem.
And you are an alien, so it might be that your metabolism means that you don't actually breathe oxygen, but you breathe pure nitrogen, or your body takes other nutrients out of the air. It's that because you can turn into a metallic, you are a kind of a metallic being. It's not necessary that you breathe oxygen.
Yeah.
Even if you ignore that, he's got a vigor of 15, so he can hold his breath anyway for quite some time.
Yes. I mean, if you decide, actually, no, I breathe, I don't know, pure nitrogen, my body sucks out of the air, then that's fixed once you've decided that, if that makes sense. But you can shape, you can do some shape changing, can't you? Or you've got some molecular
got growth, stretch.
Growth.
Yeah.
How tall? Yeah. How tall can you grow?
Grade.
So it's basically I've got growth and I've got stretch, and I believe I can double in size basically.
12 foot. Yeah, 12 foot's not big enough, is it? Because if you could grow the size of Giant Man, Ant-Man, which is what 65 foot or whatever it was, you could simply walk in. Yeah, you could walk into the water and dab your hands around to find it, kind of thing, and then you go, I know where it is, and then you just kind of, with your hand in the entrance, you shrink down to your hand and go in. But 12 foot's not big enough for that.
Yeah, I can do twice normal height and mass.
So that's around 12 feet.
Yeah, and then
give or take.
Stretch.
But with your flights, you could, if you get your hands on some basic scuba gear and some rope, each of your team members could hold onto a rope whilst having the scuba gear on. You could fly them in underwater to the location, once you've located it, the location of the submarine pen, and once you're in there, shut the airlock.
Yeah.
So you could drag. You'll be wet going in, but you could drag them in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, the other option is Spencer going under the water in his astral form, having a look for it.
Yeah, but he's an NPC. He's an NPC, so you can't use him unless he's here. That's a bit.
Ooh, ref.
He's when Steve turns up. Yes, we always that's standard practice. The player doesn't turn up, then they kind of ping out temporarily, and then ping back in again when they turn up again. Otherwise, you could end up with a situation where you've accidentally killed.
Well, I wouldn't do that. Wouldn't
Yeah.
do that. Well, we've got halfway to a plan there, I think. That saves us getting involved in fighting the military for a submarine. For the sake of 30 foot.
Yeah. Or Nick. Yep. And acquiring scuba gear is not going to be really that hard. It's not, you're at the coast, and there's going to be plenty of fishing shops. And even if it's just a rudimentary scuba snorkel, all you need is the ability to, if you know the distance. Once Mercury Man's done his recce and he's going right from the shore to the entrance of the airlock, it's 100 yards. I know exactly where it is. So you're in your snorkels. Take a boat out to really close.
Yeah.
And when you're ready, when you're above, you can then drop down the 50 feet or whatever it is and go straight into the airlock.
Yep.
You simply can pull you in. So it's not, you can do it quite easily. You just need to know the location or find the location of the airlock to then take your boat out and be above it and effectively dive overboard and be dragged down and go into the airlock and hold your breath long enough to eject the water. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, do you remember where the location?
Yes. Which side it was on, and roughly the location. But you would need to kind of take a boat out and try and locate it, the exact location. So he knows, roughly where it is within a few feet.
Mm-mm. Okay. I'm gonna if we add Loch Ness, I might take a fly around looking for a boat or something.
So Loch Ness is much further up than Anthrax Island.
Oh, I see. Well,
Anthrax on the way. You're going to fish. It's going to be really, really simple to get a little rowing boat. In that bay where Grunard Island is, there's fishermen. Grabbing a boat is going to be easy, as is getting rudimentary scuba.
A lot easier and safer than stealing a nuclear submarine.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Aye, okay.
Breaking the dome to kill the horror. It's something that trying to remember where the trophy room is.
Well, I'm going to start looking for a boat.
So we're going any situation outcome table. You need 2 dice, a D6, and
not a Greenpeace trawl. It's not a Greenpeace trawler floating around a nuclear submarine pen.
No, that's further up. So roll 2d6, and so 3. So it's medium and 4. So yes, because I've got a little any situation outcome table. Kind of it's a get out of jail free card for any other ability you don't have. So lying on the line, just nearby to where you pull up into the car park that surrounds Grunard Bay, there is a number of little rowing boats. They're just lying on the side with some lobster pots and whatnot, tied up with a long rope and some buoys, and the tide's out. So based on when you were last here, Diamond Geezer, it's on the left-hand side of Grunard Island. You reckon it's about 300 foot from the shore and about 100 foot from the island. So you mentally kind of plot out a point from what you can roughly remember where you were. There was a lot going on, but that's kind of roughly it.
So we'll go out, find ourselves a fishing boat or something big enough.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so you found a little rowing boat that can take you.
With all our rubber fetish submarine gear on.
So yeah, it's whether you went for full scuba or just went to the local.
No.
It's
It's got to be full scuba, really.
Full scuba. So roll 1d6, and that's how many scuba outfits you managed to steal from a shed nearby.
Yeah.
1d6.
And that was before.
That was before.
You roll it, yeah. Right, so we got 4.
Dice.
Yep.
Dice symbol.
Oh yeah, those were for the outcome for finding a boat. You found a good boat. Now this is stealing the 3. So you have found in a shed nearby the fishing stuff. In addition to lots of fishing equipment, there is some rudimentary oxygen cylinders and oxygen masks.
Isn't one of us an alien that doesn't
and some
need to
lead
breathe?
weights.
Yes, so free scuba gear,
Yes.
free scuba suits is enough.
More than enough.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you change your molecular structure to create yourself that diamond hard shell, does that increase your weight?
50-50? Because as I say, the idea is
go 50-50.
It
So
crystallizes the skin.
Yeah, so I would think it might do. So go 1 to 4, it does.
Yeah?
5 to 6, it doesn't.
1 to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 to 4, so it does. So you could put on that power and use that as an additional method of going underwater, if that makes sense. To rather than need a full vest of lead.
I will do that.
So you've got some rope, you got the lead, you got the working scuba gear. In principle, it's not that hard to work out how to use scuba gear. You turn on the canister, and on the mask, you kind of just breathe. For the length of time you're going to be diving under the water, you don't need to go on a paddy course. It's preparing
it's
to
basically
underwater.
to stop you getting the bends.
Yes, you aren't going that distance. It should be. You should be okay.
That's reassuring then. Yeah.
So you find yourselves you've rowed out after about half an hour of trying to find bits and pieces. Are you going to take the body of the watchman with you, watchmaker with you?
Well, we've got to get back out of the Eagle's Nest because we can't go from down there to Boleskin House. So I don't see the point as long as we can make some sort of attempt at hiding the car. Mind you, and is there that many people round here that would nick it?
It's Scotland in the 80s. Possibly not Nick, but you might come back
Where
and
we
find it on
are,
bricks.
surely we're not in the middle of a town or anything.
No, it's quite a quiet place.
We can find some
It
sort
would
of trees
seem
or something, just try and
unlikely.
pull up somewhere that's a bit off track without getting the car stuck. We can't take him down there, can we? There's no point. I mean, for starters, what happens if we can't get him back out?
Yeah.
You're telling me there's some
Yeah.
sort of demon down there, so I can't even take a werewolf, let alone a demon.
No, you struggle with
there's no
the
struggle
werewolf,
about it.
But you do know how
You
to
just
kill it. If
nearly
you
killed
blow
it,
the
isn't
dome. Yes, yeah. If you were to blow the dome, that will flood the dome and kill the horror.
Can't talisman guard the vehicle
It's a
and
good way of keeping the NPC off the books.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yep.
if a character's an NPC, then yep,
Yes.
he's guarding the vehicle. He's guarding the car. He's going to be a getaway driver.
Yep. He can do that.
cool.
That's not a problem.
So
you find that as you've rowed out, you've got your you've got your scuba gear ready to go. You have a rough location. Now the water's not too choppy, so you're okay. You do notice that on the island, a number of sheep have come to the edge and are looking at you.
They're not allowed in the water because
anticipation of what you're going to do next. And also, they're living on islands soaked in anthrax. Which you're still not allowed on.
Okay.
Quite as menacing as being watched by dogs.
So that was 28 years ago. Military scientists from Porton Down exploded bombs filled with Volium 1457H, also known as anthrax. So it's 28 years. So they're still quite active. Even now, it's still active, but it's quite bad. So, what kind of skill do you have to swim down?
Let's have let's take a few dips to see if we can.
So I think it's going to take you maybe half an hour to 45 minutes with some exploratory jumping in the water and swimming down a bit. And it's so dark down there, you can't quite get to grips with where you are. You can't because you can't see that well. But if you dive in the water with a rope, it's possible that you might find a structure that feels right, that you can tie a rope round and then back to the boat, and you can use that as a method to get down closer. So you're going to need to see if you can find the boat. We can do that with. We're going to do with strength, ego, vigor. Vigor. Make a vigor roll.
Okay.
because you're essentially
Is this all
holding your
bombs?
breath, diving into the water.
Got you.
No, just
Right.
Mercury Man at the moment.
D20,
Remind
I
me,
think.
what am I?
Yeah, D20 you got
just.
to roll under.
And my
Just.
vigor is 11.
Oh,
or
actually, yeah, sorry,
11.
that's your growth vigor,
11.
isn't it? 15.
You're rolling. Oh,
I would grow.
so no. Yeah, you jump in and you're first. Well, you should go with vigor because you're essentially holding your breath and swimming around. So it's the length of time you can hold your breath. So the first kind of time you go in the water, you swim around and you can't find anything other than mud, and you can't find it. So you come back up to the water, come back out of the water and take a deep breath and try again.
Yeah. So if I want to benefit from the higher vigor, I could
Increase yourself to 12 foot. That gives you actually a bigger span of swimming with your arms out.
well,
So that are
Under.
we rolling under? I forgot. Are we rolling under or over? Under. So yes, you see, you now have a longer time to swim in the water, and you find a long flat structure, which is either a connecting corridor or the submarine pen.
and do I have the rope we discussed?
Yes, so you can tie the rope round. You find a little hook thing that's just nearby. Tie the rope round, come back up again. So what you need to do now is to have 2 more successful vigor checks, and you're essentially diving back into the water and following this connecting corridor to find out whether you are on a domed section or the submarine pen. Given Diamond Geezer's description, you know the submarine pen is going to be a slightly larger structure to a connecting corridor. If you haven't got a square structure attached, so naturally, yeah. So first dive, you go down, and you find you're actually a few feet away from the submarine pen. Moving around to the back of the submarine pen where the entrance is, you find the doors are open, but there is a kind of a hook or a loose piece of there's somewhere to tie the rope, and you make your way back up to the water, declaring that you actually found
Nice
the
one,
entrance to
Blood.
the eagle's nest.
Right, so we all suit up and get ready to go down.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basic vigor check to pull yourself down the rope, because you are concentrating on breathing through the mask, which you've never done scuba diving before,
Okay.
and putting yourself down at the same time.
Yeah.
So essentially, if you roll a 1, that's it's going to be a disaster.
Oh, D20,
Otherwise, it shouldn't be too bad for you.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
D20.
awfully close.
Okay, you're struggling going down. You're struggling coordinating breathing and pulling yourself down the rope. So let's see how Vixen does as you begin to have a minor little panic.
16. It's over my vigor, that is.
Is it over or under? Over. So you find yourself being able to pull yourself past Diamond Geezer, who's slowing down and kind of shaking a little bit.
Terry, I am patting you, trying to attract your attention, and giving you a thumbs up, thumbs down signal with my hand.
You're actually making better headway.
Apparently, I am. I
Yeah.
don't quite know how, but I.
I'll
Yes.
reach out and sort of like take your hand and pull me down.
Oh, if that's okay with the ref, I'll try that.
Or at least I'll grab onto one of his straps on his head.
So, cool. So both make a vigor roll. If Diamond Geezer fails again, he panics a bit more. At which point we may have an issue with him trying to panic underwater, which
Mike,
is
you
dangerous.
take your roll.
On a minute.
So,
and that's a 12. Assuming that's made it. Off the top of my head,
16.
what's your figure?
Diamond Geezer's got 16 vigor.
Okay, so you are now full panic mode. You are kind of the claustrophobic nature of the dark water. You're beginning to panic and now trying to grab Vixen. So Vixen, Diamond Geezer's a heavy weight, and you can feel he is panicking.
I rolled
underwater.
an 18, which obviously is well over my vigor. So if you do,
Don't you have a psychic ability of some kind of hypnotize or
an aurora of calm or something like that.
don't you've got a psychic?
all I can think of to do,
Yeah.
Raf, is use my hallucination power to put an image of some kind of classic Cortina in front of his eyes.
Yes, you could. If you do the hallucination of a Pacific light blue waters, so he can see where he is.
Yeah, I can try that.
That would stop the panic, because the panic is because you're in the dark, you can't see, and it's claustrophobic. But if he believes, then he's swimming into
the nice picture of a dolly bird, half naked dolly bird. Yeah,
but that's less believable because you're underwater. If you can suddenly see coral reefs and whatnot, your panic and you can see the floor of the water. The ocean floor is not that deep. You panic less, and it should be simpler for you to believe, so to speak.
Okay, I'm just looking up the power.
I wouldn't be far behind, so but then again,
you're in front.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously you're going first because you know where you're going.
Okay.
But you can't. You've got no means to communicate with each other.
There doesn't seem to be any particular issue in using hallucinations. It's going to cost me apparently 3 psi points, which isn't an issue. 20 meter range. Well, it only needs to be 20 meters is more or less the entire distance we need to worry about. So I'll try this. I'll try this idea of calm, blue, clear Mediterranean waters.
Okay.
And then hope that it has some kind of effect on him.
You're just going to pay for that. You don't need to make it
I don't believe so.
Don't. Ego, yes.
This is where sometimes the rule book's a little bit unclear. Some powers it says you need to do an attack. I'm not using my hallucination to attack.
Yes, so your DC is.
You need to make it. Doesn't matter what you're using it for. You need to attack. The attack roll is basically you concentrating and performing. It's not necessarily an attack roll.
DC 3. So you might need to make a strike roll against unarmored DC 3.
Yes, it's Because it could be used in an
it's not.
offensive
It's not
way.
the way I see
Yeah.
it. It's not.
Trying
You're
to-
not actually using it to attack or offensive. The roll represents you casting it.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
but also he's panicking
so
as well.
I'll simply roll a d20.
So
I know that's what you end up having to do. It's a 12. It's not bad.
12. Yeah. His DC is 3.
I wonder if I can find where the bloody casting of psi powers is. It's in the supervisor's book, and I'm looking in the wrong one.
That's weird. Okay, here we go. Yes. So it's a mental attack. So it's D20 plus ego. Mike, you need to make a D20 plus ego.
So
You're not going to resist.
what's my ego?
So D20 plus your ego.
Your ego is 11. Well, my total is 26.
So Anthony, what's your
Mine's 17.
So yes, so Diamond gives you, mine's Diamond gives you 17. So you successfully create a hallucination of clear water, clear warm water. It's nice. It's only a few feet above the ground. Diamond gives you slowly, well, actually quite quickly, stop panicking because you can see where you are. You're like, it's ridiculous. You can see where you are. Everything's fine. So, Anthony, you need to make it one more vigor roll to pull you into the submarine pen.
13.
So, whilst that's happening, Microman, sorry, 13. So
You've been going on over
13?
vigor, so that's over
13.
my vigor.
That's a success, isn't it? So, yes, it's got to be over, over. Let's say it worked. You're in the submarine pen. So, whilst you're in there, Mercury Man, you've been searching for a keypad to shut the and remove the air, remove the water from the air, the actual airlock. Now you know it's on the right hand side because Diamond Geezer knew it was the right hand side. So you just need to make a simple D6 roll. Roll 1d6 and I'll tell you if you find it. Essentially, you need not roll a 1. You rolled a 1.
Oh.
So you
Yeah, but you didn't tell me that before I rolled.
no. So reroll. So it's quite easy to find because you know where it is, and it can only be up and down in a 8 meter range. So you start at the bottom, you're moving your hand up. So you can't find anything the first time you go to the top. You can come back down again to see if you can. You extend your hand slightly to take a bigger range to find the pad. So roll 1d6 again to see if you can locate it. So on your way back down, you catch it with the tip of your finger, punch the pad, and in the darkness you can hear kind of you can all hear like a noise of doors shutting, and within seconds the water's punched out of the submarine pen, and you find yourselves in a rather large airlock. At the far end of the airlock is a door with an eagle above it and the letters E.A.G.L.E above the door. On the right hand side of the door is a patch panel in which you think you'll probably get into
If I've been here before, do I know how to activate it?
To get into the base. Yes. Doors open and you are standing for the first time in little under 20 years, the first people to be in the Eagle's Nest, or you believe to be in the last 20 years.
I'll point up at the E.A.G.
It is.
Is that another acronym?
Yes. Extra Normal Association of Government Law Enforcers. Yeah. Eagles sounded better.
You humans do like your acronyms.
Certainly do. INHO.
Some are better than others. So you know why it's called the Security Supervisor's Book?
Yeah.
No, because Simon thought it, rather than just call it the Games Master or whatever, Simon thought it was quite funny to have the guy running a game
Script supervisor
be the SS. Yep, but SS. He thought that was quite funny. So you are in the Eagle's Nest. Ahead of you is a corridor ending in the control dome. To the right-hand side, that the corridor goes off, and there's a research dome, and then a broken, damaged vehicles dome. The other side, there's a residential dome and the utility dome. In the vehicles dome, you know there's the Eagle Wing, and you know there is the experimental five-seater Harrier jump jet.
Does anybody know how to fly
and some other
five-seater Harrier
rusty and
jump jet?
broken bits and pieces. So this has been underwater for only the flying wing is usable.
Right,
Harrier jump jet has been underwater for at least 20 years.
Somebody's flooded the carburetor
in a damaged, breached, flooded dome.
Right, okay.
Yes. Yep. There are no other submarines in here. In the control room, it's you get into a. Let me take a picture of that. You get into an area that is quite clean. You're kind of expecting it to be. So number one is the airlock. 2 are storage. 3 is the control room. 1 is more airlocks. 3, no, 4 is computer and equipment bank. 5 is a detention area. 6 are
Right.
detention
So we know
cell.
Demon Chap isn't in the cell.
No, he's the
pretty
right hand
sure he's in the
research.
yeah.
Wasn't he research dome? Yeah, he's in the right research dome. Yeah, he's in the research dome.
So, which part of this complex is flooded? Oh, is it just the vehicle dome?
Yes, just the vehicle dome. So the vehicle dome has been breached and flooded. There's jets, submarines, rockets stored here. Most of them rotted away. Just the Eagle Wing.
And we think this Terror is.
We can't get to the vehicle
in
dome
the
without going through the research dome, which apparently contains a mad, fiery sun god.
Yep. So if memory serves, Diamond Geezer, one of you went through the submarine pen, swam over to the vehicle dome, and opened the airlock because you found that you could only manually open it from the inside of the vehicle dome to allow water to rush into the research dome. I think that's how you did it. I don't remember you blowing the outside of the research dome, but I thought you rushed water in.
Okay. It's just the research dome that's flooded. The rest of it is not. It's not flooded yet. Yeah. Right. So
It's just
the
the
vehicle
vehicles
dome
dome
is
that's
the only one
flooded.
that's
Research
flooded.
dome is not flooded.
How far along the connecting corridor does? Is the water flood restricted to the dome, or does it come along the? Right.
Just the dome, because you know the doorway to the research dome in that corridor is open. So if you open the door, manually open the
Right,
door in the
okay.
vehicle's dome, it floods the research dome.
Do we want to go? Do we just want to flood the dome straight out?
Well, where is this trophy room?
That is a good question.
Do you have any idea?
Research dome.
The
I knew
trophy
you were gonna
room
say that.
is in the. No, it's not in the research dome.
Okay.
It's in the utility dome.
Realistically, we could just leave this demon
Well,
quite happily
we should-
alone. Let's try and find what we need to find and then bug out.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Don't go poking the bear.
Good idea.
But there
yeah,
is there is a flying craft that we could use in the vehicle's dome, is there not? What was it? The wing.
I don't know how to
The Eagle
pilot
Wing,
any
yeah.
sort of flying vehicle, so unless Geezer knows, you're the only one with any sort of mechanical knowledge, but whether that'll make you a good pilot, I don't know.
You've never flown the Eagle's Wing. You just about managed to fly the pirate ship, but that was quite much more modern and much more intuitive.
Okay. Well, let's explore the rest
I
of
can't
the
argue with that. No,
area
let's
since we.
go and see what's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll give us time to mull over what we might do with the research dome.
Okay, so the control dome. Control dome. Where's the control dome? Residential. General. Misplaced control dome. Where's the. So, making your way around the control dome, it's quite. It looks ultra modern. It looks very futuristic. This doesn't look like it's 50s and 60s tech. This is really, really modern. In fact, it's far beyond something that you could recognise. It's almost got a Star Trek feel to the way the keys are set up.
Yeah. I would suggest, does it look like a Star Trek?
Yeah. Yeah. You are sitting in a
The what?
in a rather futuristic. I'm just trying to finally get. I had the page up and I literally just folded it out. Just too much. So this thing is from the year 39, 35, or in your reckoning 8456 AD. It's the Deep Space Research Vessel, the HMSS Mary Rose II. It's a Beagle-class research vessel. It has no offensive weaponry.
Gosh.
So you know from the last time you're here that around the crash left faster than light speed. The enemy of Earth activated the time travel device. It reopened a rupture in time, releasing the paradox, which had been created by the aborted attempt at Queen Victoria trying to recapture Queen Victoria's Grail by Shadow 5. The resulting warp through the Mary Rose back in time because initially it turns out in the Victorian era, but that at that moment, the two torques touched, and boom, it's sent back 6,000 years, 6,000 BC. It entered the atmosphere just above the Arctic Circle. The sheer expanse of time cost the crew, each of them died. The research vessel crashed into the sea off the coast of what will become Norway. It crashed into the Strega mountain range underwater. That created a massive underwater landslide, which cut off the UK from Europe. And it kind of spun around, crashed into the Faroe Islands, and eventually drifted between the Isle of Lewis and the Scottish mainland, finally coming to the coast of Greenland Island, where it's lay undisturbed for thousands of years.
So what you're saying is the Eagle's nest itself is some kind of craft?
Oh.
Yeah, it's the HMS Mary Rose
Wow.
2 from the future.
Oh, that's a surprise.
And what forgot about that. So a piece broke off. The escape pod of the Mary Rose settled in what became Staffa Island. The propulsion core broke, fractured, and ultimately created a crystal cave in Staff Island. I cannot remember whether we linked that to Diamond Geezer's
Maybe something like this.
crystals or not. Seems remiss that it seems remiss that we didn't. So anyway, so all of this history kind of came out because you know that Plasma, one of the Eagles, is trapped as a kind of a digital being within the electronics or the computer system.
Okay.
So you can talk to him if you turn on the machine.
Take a look.
If you
I've
turn
been
it
here
on.
before, and I may have some familiarity with it, possibly, maybe stretching. Yeah.
It's a matter of
So
tapping anything and everything until
I'll do
it
that.
lights up. It doesn't take too long. It all kind of illuminates, and the dim lights that were in the research dome brighten up, and essentially a face appears on the screen.
Yes.
And in a human voice, none of that AI kind of dodgy robotic voice. It speaks, and it says, "Emergency! The being from Granite Chase has broken out into the Oh,
Yeah.
That's odd. That was 20. Who's entered the eagle's nest?" And you hear a sound, cameras that haven't moved for 20 years, kind of attempting to move into place.
Yeah.
Who has entered the eagle's nest? Please state your name
speak
and.
up. I'm going to say my name is Diamond Geezer. I've been here before. Refresh my memory. When was I here?
Have you? When was you here?
Yeah, I was here in the Earth year 2012.
2012.
That may be what.
It's 1980.
Because we have
you've been
traveled through
here
time and space.
in 32 years' time.
Screwed him, didn't it? I'm associated.
Are
with
you one of the Kestrels?
For the lightning bolt.
Why?
Right.
What?
Okay.
How can we assist you? John Ball and the remaining Eagles are on a secret mission. Lou went to South America for some reason. I have no
require
active
certain
eagles.
items from the trophy room. We are aiming to assist Bull in his mission, and we require certain items.
And there's a flickering on the screen as the cursor's going wild as he's
Okay,
pondering
so what
this.
do we need again?
What items would you like to borrow?
It's John
Flight ring, kestrel flight rings.
John Bull, John Bull's eagle ring. Kestrel ring, yes. Sorry, I can't believe.
Flight ring. It's his kestrel ring.
Yeah.
Oh, the anti-cathedral
time
mechanism.
machine.
I'm glad you remembered that.
Yeah. The key of time. So he says, why do you need a kestrel ring and a key of time if you come here
because our equipment
through time and you are kestrels?
Damaged and we can't get back. Quiet.
That seems improbable. My understanding of the kestrels, they were quite adept at
The trouble is, we've been
time and
attacked
space.
en route.
Where is Taki?
We are now itemless and stranded. We have no way of contacting our fellow kestrels, no way of helping ourselves unless we can obtain your cooperation.
I will. Let me think on this. The screen goes blank. There is no persuade roll. Let's go with this again.
Yep.
Finish. The screen flashes back up again.
Excuse me.
And says, I have pondered this. I have scanned each of you with a full rundown of your facial recognition, DNA, fingerprints, and your life signatures, for want of a better term.
Right.
I will loan you. We can loan you from the trophy room the kestrel flight ring of John Bull and the key of time. But you must be aware of the consequences of using the key of time. It has in the past had caused its users quite a lot of issues. One team, Shadow 5, spent quite a bit of time trapped in the past attempting to get home with this thing. It's not the easiest of objects to use. It is quite a large, bulky object. If you are to take it, you must be aware that at some point its mission or its future is to be in the sea 2,000 years before it is found in 1909. Nobody knows when that will be, at what jump that will happen. But it has an inevitability, but we don't know when. It's been used quite a lot, so we just don't know. It is unknown when that will take you under the water off the coast of Antikythera to fester and rust and break up. Not even Tachyon knew of
That is very
when that
kind
was
of you, and thank you for that warning.
And we understand the risks.
We have no particular options available
Okay.
to us other than this course of action.
Okay, well, I can locate you if I need to. I know who you are. I've got the everything I need to know to attempt to find you if you don't return them. But by all means, go ahead. And they're in the trophy room in the utility
Could we ask one
dome.
more question of you? Do you have the ability to control
Yes.
internal
Ask away.
airlocks at this present moment in time?
Let me see. Yes, if I did a full system reboot, I think I can get the computers to do a
It's
complete
just that we understand you have
full system reboot.
a raging manic fire demon in the research dome.
Yes, the Protector and John Ball brought back. So Protector, Howitzer, and one of the Triple X brought back some kind of crash meteor from Chronic Chase, and that turned out to be for want of a better term, fire elemental, a fire demon that is raging.
Just wondering whether you
most of our
might want to use the airlocks from the vehicle dome to let the water in and basically erase it from the research dome.
Let me do a quick check on the systems. And you get a moment where it's kind of matrixy. The screen goes green and there's numbers going up and down for effect. And he says, after a few moments, it appears that a large portion of the objects of our research within the research dome have been damaged. Luckily enough, the ERTP is not damaged. And given this creature is a fire elemental, I suspect it's possible to remove the oxygen from the dome first to render it inert. And then once inert, it would take somebody in some kind of rebreathing rebreather, get their own oxygen in to remove the creature into a airlock which you can eject into the sea to kill it. But a fire demon is not going to be a fire demon if there's no oxygen to feed it. But your other option is to, if once it's inert, is to put it on the ERTP and send it in one of the pre-programmed locations. So, Diamond Gizzard, you can make a 1d6. So I'm going to say it's medium difficulty. So this is on my any situation outcome table. 1, 2, and 3 you don't know. 4, 5, and 6 you do know.
I've got 3.
So let me show you my outcome. This is a get out of jail free card. Or it's. Let me just get that. That's the get out of jail free card. So 3, no, you don't know what the ERTP acronym stands for. How would you like to proceed?
Go ahead with it. I mean, we got no other choice.
Yeah, I know what we initially said, but if this thing can actually suck the oxygen out of that dome and give us the opportunity to get rid of this beastie, we're going to save somebody a lot of trouble in the future. Even if we're not in the same time stream.
I would need to reboot the system for this.
Is there any risk associated with that?
Possibly. I'll reboot. If you can make your way towards the research dome and hold the doors in case they open whilst we reboot, just in case, you would need to brace the doors so they aren't opened. I wouldn't. It would seem unlikely that the creature, because it's been there for 20 years, give or take, that it would realise that's going to happen. Because in the reboot program, I will remove the oxygen from the research dome as we reboot. We should just vent the oxygen.
Do that.
Yep.
Okay, so you get down to the research dome, and it's a kind of a Star Trek door, which would go. So there are handles on it.
Okay.
So you need to brace yourself and make a strength roll. There's 1d. So actually, the way the sketch roll, you roll 1d20 and add it to your skill. So what we were doing the vigor slightly wrong. It wasn't you don't roll under, you add the d20 to your vigor to tell me what you get. So because now I remembered. So roll strength. So you are in crystal form. So you've got your increased strength.
What's my strength?
That 48.
Add it to a d20. Tell me what you get.
48. Okay.
48.
So that's 68. 68. Top of the shop.
Nice one.
Ooh. 68. Excellent. So you cannot hold this any stronger. That makes sense.
Yeah.
This is your maximum ability to hold the door shut. Lights flicker, and you hear reboot in progress. Everything is black. The systems start coming online, and you can hear something thrashing about inside the research dome. The system's not going to be saying oxygen here. You're not going to hear over the tunnel what's going on, what's not going on. But you're assuming the oxygen is being pulled out of the research dome as it's booting up. You can feel the doors being attempted. It gets a bit warm.
Okay, well, I'll keep the door
but it
shut.
Goes quiet. As it goes quiet, you hear over the tannoy, full systems initializations, engines back online.
Okay.
That's good, I think.
Does that mean?
Yeah. You're not going to hear if this creature has collapsed the other side of these doors. It's a big area. You're not going to hear it go down. If I'm honest, you know it's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the cameras, you could have a look in there via a camera.
Yeah, I'll then take a quick look.
So inside the main control dome, in area 3 where the computers are, lots of stuff flashing around. Plasma will show you the inside of the research dome, and it's melted. There's lots of stuff in there. So you've got like a whole area that's kind of had a fiery creature for 20 years. So it's kind of melted. There is what looks like a round platform. That reminds you of the platform they stood on in Avengers Endgame, when they went back in time. It's it also looks like the platform they used in Time Frame, with a computer terminal attached. That's one of the only things that's not damaged. Lying on the floor, with just small bits of flame dying off him,
Right. Okay.
is a dog-headed creature.
Moving or
No, it's collapsed on the floor.
I'll go and report back to the others. Assuming I had to go back to.
Yeah, as you run back to, because obviously you've got no communications device between you. You've got no mobile phones. But as you run back, at the corner of your eye, you see on one of the screens, initiating flight check, and you run back to
Now that is obvious.
the corridor
That
where
is
everyone's
obviously.
standing.
Is that I'm going to take a quick look. Is that the flight check of the systems on the ship? Bearing in mind that Mary Rose. This is the Mary Rose, which is supposedly a ship. Yeah. So those flight systems
It's flying.
are back
Yes,
on,
it's a
are coming
spaceship.
back online.
Yes. Yes.
Not convinced we want to go into
What
space.
it looks like.
Lord, can you have a word with Plasma?
Sure can. Meanwhile, it looks like that elemental's changed into a cry. And he's not moving, lying on the floor. I'll run back to have a word with Plasma.
As the plasma says, yes, we've done system checks. Apart from the structural integrity of the weapons dome, the ship is ready for launch, and can take off, but only within the atmosphere. It can't enter can't enter outer space without either ejecting the vehicle dome or completely sealing it.
Right.
Which should sealing the airlock should resolve the structural integrity of the ship.
Yeah. Are these just system checks, checking the health of the ship, or
Yes, system checks complete. Ship can take off if required.
But you're not planning to do that right now, just to be clear.
I have no reason to take off.
Good, because we haven't finished what we're planning. Righto.
Just this Mercury running back. Oh, running back again. It's like, oh, maybe we should have some kind of communication device. It's halfway down the corridor.
Right.
Like, oh yeah,
so we have an well, hopefully we have an unconscious fire demon from the other side of the universe. Are we just going to dump him into the water?
Yep.
For Pool? Or have we got any other plans?
So both of you, both Vixen and not Mercury Man, because you wouldn't have heard of this, but Vixen, you can have an attempt. I'm going to say it's ERTP. It's going to be difficult. So roll 1d6, and essentially a 5 and a 6-ish. 5 and a 6 means you know what ERTP stands for. ERPT.
6.
ERTP. I'll get the acronym right. Extended Range Teleportation Platform.
Got an idea.
Rumored to be in existence. It's a method of teleportation, long range, but it's not. The mathematical calculations are quite difficult. It takes ages to replot something, and they have to be checked and checked and checked because it's quite dangerous. There are, according to the conspiracy theories, there are 3 locations, or there were 3 locations in which the ERTP functioned. Down in Cornwall, there's a base down there which was an old space base, and that's where the conspiracy theory says the ERTP existed, and it would have the ability to teleport to the space station Alpha and what was colloquially known as Project Thunderchild. One of the moons floating around Mars, there is a hollow satellite, and it's the conspiracy theory said that the ERTP could teleport stuff to this Thunderchild base to prevent a second invasion. There was a one-shot planet-killing device that is supposed to be on this what was known as Project Red Knight.
Do I
to
have
stop
any
anything from
recollection
Mars
as to whether
coming
there
again.
are humans on this base, given that we're talking some sort of automated?
No, it's all.
It's on either Deimos or Phobos.
All supposed to be automated. Yes,
don't worry too much about that.
Yes,
if we're talking about a satellite of Mars, I'm pretty sure it's far enough away not to worry too much. This is a teleport. Okay, where's the ERTP? Sorry. Well, there's one in the Eagle.
So there's one on Space Station Alpha. Space Station Alpha is, and the Eagle's Nest is the one that your conspiracy head. Because don't forget, you guys were kind of nerds dicking around on the internet as low level heroes. You managed to get Jarmagisa to join you. What you'd heard the legend or the conspiracy about this teleportation device, Space Station Alpha, which is a wooden started off as a wooden space station in the early 1900s that used cavorite to get it to the dark side of the moon, and over time they built it up to it looks like Thunderbird 5 basically, but one ERTP's on there, and it's the supply methods you need. It took 4 craze 3 months to get the mathematics to create new teleportations, which is why it's really only been used to do Project Thunderchild 2
So
and
I think
Space Station Alpha. Sizewell B has a nuclear
so
power
now I think
station
we need
just
to ask
powering it.
Plasma where the Okay, we understand there is an ERTP system in this vessel. Is that correct? Where?
That is correct. So, for argument's sake, Plasma now has there's a small viewing screen near where you're standing, holding the doors, which is now
is it
talking
operational?
to you. That is correct.
Where is it?
The ERTP is in the research, and he shows a picture of it, and it's this platform.
Can you analyze it? Is it functional? Can we use it to eject?
Yes, as previously mentioned, it's one of the only objects in the base in the research dome that's functional, with the others in melted.
The receiver on either Deimos or Phobos?
There are three pre-programmed locations within the ERTP: Space Station Alpha, Project Thunderchild, and
would you please
the base
set the coordinates to Project Thunderchild and let us know when you're ready to utilize the ERTP?
Yep. ERTP powering up.
And if you are able to do so, please keep the oxygen out of the research dome for that length of time.
Yep. Oxygen is completely out of the research dome.
Okay. Geezer. I believe you can hold your breath long enough to dump this fella onto the ERTP platform and get out of the room without too much bother.
By the side of the ERTP platform, there is a box with a big red button on.
Just thinking, Geezer, that obviously you're a lot more resistant to damage if he wakes up. Know that you have got a very healthy constitution. You should be able to pick him up, plunk him on it, press the button, get out without too much bother. Even if you didn't have your scuba gear on. Hello? We lost the sound.
Mike? Is he gone?
Oh, he's not muted, but
is he fallen asleep?
There's no. Oh, okay. We can't hear you though. It's just, yeah. So he's typing in the Discord chat. Mic's not working.
He muted.
Working on it to carry on.
Okay.
So
yes, it's the oxygen's been removed, and he is this thing is collapsed.
As long as Mike's okay with the idea, I'm just thinking that if anything goes remotely wrong with this being, he's going to be the best one suitable to resist it. If it wakes up that quickly, I'll be horrified. See what I did there? Horrified. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice one.
He said yes.
So I think when we get the heads up from Plasma that it's all ready to rock and roll, we'll open the door and Geezer will do his bit and earn his keep. Whilst flammable old me stays out the way.
Cool. I have got written down Ion as the moon in which the Thunder Child is on.
Yeah, Mars is
I don't know why I
Deimos and
put Ion.
Phobos. Io is
It's
Jupiter.
Phoebus Demios.
Io.
I don't know of an Ion, but an Io.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
was something to do with 2001, wasn't it?
Yeah.
ION. Ion.
But if we're
I'm
talking
not sure where
Mars,
I got Ion from.
Phobos is fear. Is it Deimos is hate or something, I think?
Yep. Yep. I wonder if I found a previously thought a mythical one that I used, but I can't remember why. Ion is in Jupiter. That seems odd. Anyway, it will go with Demios, Terra.
Oh, I had no idea about that, to be honest.
Yeah, one of them's supposed to be hollow.
Something to look up.
Testing. I'm back.
I think it might have been a Carl Sagan. Hello, you there?
Yeah, very funny.
So it's a moot point. So yes,
a mute point. Very fucking. Yeah,
oh no, yeah, I didn't mean that actually.
Anyway, sorry, where were we?
Yep, hopefully you're going to open the door, go in and do the business.
Get flattened by this guy in there, yeah. Okay.
Well, hopefully not.
It's Phobos. Phobos is back in the 50s and 60s.
Oh, wow.
There was some speculation that Phobos could be hollow due to its unusual orbital
think the moon is be hollow, so that's nothing new. No, I would rather not.
Oh, you got to see Moonfall. Moonfall is the best film ever.
I've actually had my intelligence.
It's excellent. It's actually excellent. It's so nuts. It's excellent.
That's 20 quid wasted. Then.
I went to the cinema. So it's everything you expect it to be. It's just, the space.
Phobos, yeah.
That's awesome. Anyway, let's digress. Not going to go. Phobos. That has the giant, essentially a chemical warfare bomb waiting to hit Mars, because during the previous invasion, which didn't last that long, but the Martians were susceptible to viruses. So, yep, you think you can open the doors, run in, grab it, and shut the doors again. Grab the thing. As long as he's not too heavy, lift him and chuck him on the teleportation device, hit the teleporter, and run back out again.
Go wrong, yeah. Everything knowing my luck.
What
it's a shame we didn't have a
possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Well, the damn thing would, in game terms, he would have to weigh something in excess of 50 tons for you not to be able to lift him up, and I would be slightly amazed if he weighed that much.
So I could pick him. I could literally hook my finger in his neck collar and pick him up and talk. Come on, laddie, off we go.
I do hope.
Yeah, because there's no specification to your weights. There isn't a. See, he's unconscious, so all of those don't count. Energy immunity, nope. Energy attack, grade 15.
He's horrendous. He is absolutely a beast.
So he does 20d6 per
He's
round
awake,
damage.
yeah?
Jesus.
If he's awake. Yeah.
Field manipulation. Field manipulation. He can't be. Yeah, there's nothing there to say that his weight is. So he's a fire being, and his only one freak state of nature is water. Water can. But I would suggest, because he's got it's fire, oxygen can knock him out. That's my ruling.
Okay.
So there's no discernible issue
okay.
with weight. You can lift him.
So yes.
As you open the door, about to run in, you remember one pertinent issue. At which point you shut the doors again.
Please.
He has intangibility, which is permanently on. He can only become intangible when doused in water. He only becomes tangible when doused in water.
Asthma. Activate fire sprinklers in the research base. Research dome. Fire sprinklers fire suppression system.
One second. He activates. The screen comes on, and you can see the water coming down. And he has disabled the sprinklers around the ERTP. You're getting a little bit of water on there, but water is now coming down, splashing on the dog-headed man that's lying there. Initially, the water seems to go through him, and after a few moments, you start to see it splashing on his body.
Till it becomes clearly obvious that he's bullied. Okay.
Yes, you start seeing that he's soaking wet. Yep. So we're going to go with you're going to run in and grab him. So you run in, opening the airlock doors and closing them behind you is very simple. You have to run through wet water, dex roll, pick him up, strength roll, another dex roll to drop him onto the platform, and then a dex roll, and then
okay.
A good chance of damaging the platform.
Okay,
you are quite strong.
Let's go through these one at a time then.
Dex roll to run up to the.
What do I need to do? Yep.
So you're running up to him in the water because you've got an oxygen issue. So dex roll to run up to him. So D20 added to your dex. Tell me what you get.
Is 10.
What's your dex?
Yep.
So 27. So you run up to him. Quite pleased with that. You haven't slipped. Strength roll to lift him. You essentially, if you roll a 1, you can't lift him.
I can lift.
So even. Yep. There's still 48 plus. Yes, 58. You lift him up. So strength, dex roll to get him over to the ERTP.
It's 12 in total.
Yeah.
What's that? 12 in total. So you're slipping and sliding and staggering. It's not. A 1's definitely going to be a fall over. You lay him onto the ERTP. Not yet. Okay. And he lies down on it. You've got one dex roll to punch because he starts to move. He begins to move a little bit.
Yeah.
7. You get off the ERTP and punch the button, and then run back to the airlock. So punching the button's easy. One more dex roll to run back to the airlock.
Yeah.
You get through the airlock. and the ERTP, you can hear it going, and there's a blink, and
I will
now
sort of
nothing
like go
on
back
the,
into the room,
ERTP.
double check that he's not.
Oh, good stuff.
I mean, is there video evidence of him being beamed out?
He's not there. He's not there.
Okay.
He's
suppression system
gone
off.
out. He's gone. Water suppression goes off. Water eventually drains away. Oxygen returns to the research dome.
Fantastic.
And the horror,
good on you, geezer,
from space has been returned back to space.
Well, I'm quite proud of that.
Yeah. Well, someone's got to say it. Someone's got to say it. No, that was.
Yeah.
You're absolute diamond, mate. You're absolute diamond.
Well done.
So it's now trapped in a hollow moon, floating around Mars. If Mars attacks, then the rockets aren't going to go off because all it's going to be a molten mess in there, and the bomb that's in there is eventually going to go off with chemicals.
In the Martian invasion.
Everybody can chemical warfare.
Everybody can blame me for it. Yeah, all right.
The return of the horror.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Okay, so the Eagle's Nest is now empty. So what you want to do next is go to the
in the hopes that it
trophy room
definitely
and
is
collect
there.
the kestrel ring. So make your way around to the Eagle's Nest. There's a whole host of weird and wonderful trophies that some you recognise, some you can't quite place them. Sitting in the centre on a perspex stand is a large clockwork device. It's got straps on it that can be used as a backpack, and there are kind of ropes coming off it. So it looks like one person holds it, wears it, and everyone else holds on the side, and it goes through time. So there is a kestrel ring. And there are also a box containing some Legion flight rings.
Okay.
These will give you Flight 1 and the ability to communicate with each other.
These? He can't hear us.
Plasma's in the computer, so unless you ask him to come down, he's still on the computer.
You hear me now?
No.
Is this without an earpiece? Awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Brilliant.
What it could be is
yes, it's a kind of almost throws the voice into your ear.
Makes the voice
that's simpler than.
Yes. The anti-cathedral mechanism.
It's borderline. It's borderline magic.
Right. Okay.
Crazy looking thing.
You get a funky theme tune.
So you now have the ability to go through time.
Oh, we've got what we needed, and some bonus eagle rings. That's nice.
Everybody put an eagle ring on, so at least we can talk to each other.
Yep. Take one for Spencer.
Take as many as we need.
Yeah, that then.
For hire.
Yes.
Sorry.
Take one for Spencer.
Oh, that's one for the kids.
Right. Good question.
Excellent.
What
the range of these things
what plasma? Will these rings actually work in the Kestrel
you don't know.
Even though they're from here.
20.
There's no, will their tech work? I mean, obviously we may not be able to talk with you, but
Not as reliable. My understanding from what John Ball said was they are not as
Theoretically,
reliable
they should work.
because the universe is slightly different from ours. Yes, but not it. You might get static. You might just about hear there'll be issues of connectivity, analog to digital kind of thing. It's not. They do work, but expect them to be not as good as they are working here. So over here, the range is a couple of miles.
Okay.
In the Kestrel universe, it may be a
If
few
we've
hundred
got
feet.
John Ball's ring, whatever. Okay, so I'll pocket John Ball's ring. Flip our Kestrel verse. Sorry. Slip an eagle ring on my finger.
No.
And I guess the next place we need to go and see is this old chap on Loch Ness.
Yep.
Yeah, that we don't know much about.
So you need to get out.
Plasma.
You need to get out of the
You raise the
eagle's
nest to let us out without having to swim out.
Yes.
Take us to the surface.
Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can open the.
Okay.
I can open the whirlpool. In the research dome. I'll just divert the systems to the research dome.
Okay.
Down in the research dome, a whirlpool will open up, and you'll be able to fly straight out through the ceiling. The iris will open. One of Windlord's abilities was to help us create this whirlpool, and essentially it just opens up a hole in the water. You can fly out, and we close the iris.
Yeah, and
goes back again.
So we
That's
don't
how
actually need
it's
the other
much easier
vehicle.
than getting
We
a flying
don't
over,
need
taking a
the
sub
Eagle's
out.
vehicle, do we? Because we've got these rings. Okay.
Lovely.
Result?
No. So you enter into the research dome. You look up, and there's a large iris. Above the iris, it's initially dark, and suddenly there's a whirling, and you can see sunlight. The iris opens. There's drips of water, little drips of water, but you are able to fly directly up, maybe 50 feet.
Okay.
And look down. The iris closes, and the water then just kind of
Brilliant.
falls in on itself.
Okay.
But you're flying above the water.
Three then. It's a Capri, wasn't it? Cortina then. Yep. As we get back, I toss
Back to the Cortina.
Employee's ring.
Yep.
The NPC.
Chuck the. Okay. So you've got a minor issue with. It's a 5-seater, so you can jam in the anti-cathodic device on the back seat between whoever
his shape and
is sitting on the back seat.
I'm fairly slim, so makes sense. Absolutely brilliant.
No problem. And you head off.
Well done,
heading
fellas.
north to Loch Ness.
That actually went a lot better than I thought it was going to.
I thought it was going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. The advantage of the Eagle's Nest can be deadly with the horror. He does 2, weapons class 4, 2D, 20d6 per round, -3 to target's damage
and that's supposed
dividers.
to be his low power.
Never push back. Yeah, but you'd already encountered him and knew about the water. So you were forearmed is forewarned. So it's being prepared and knowing that he's there is quite useful.
Yeah.
So, driving up towards Loch Ness takes a while through the Cairngorms, maybe. I've completely forgotten where the Cairngorms are in conjunction with the Loch Ness. It's the first one. Anyway, you drive through the borders, and after what seemed like hours, you come over a rise, and you can see in the distance Loch Ness. There's a castle in the centre, and a little castle sticking out. To the right-hand side, there is a white. Down the track, there is a white building that you think is either the visitor centre, which you're thinking now hasn't been built yet, so that's probably Boleskine Manor or Boleskine House. If everyone makes a 1d6, I'm going to say it's hard to see this.
Conrad.
So only a 6 is a success.
Oh, that's sorry, right. 6.
I did. I rolled a 2.
2. As you come over the rise and other people are staring at the Boleskine Manor, you look into the water,
I've just seen
and
the
for
monster.
a split
The
second
monster.
you think you see a
there.
large
Look.
creature diving. You just there's ripples. There's
it was
always ripples.
magnificent.
But so you think you've seen Loch Ness monster diving into the water?
You're telling me you missed it? You guys are hopeless.
Yep.
What? I don't see anything.
So, how are you going to approach Boleskine House?
Yeah.
You're going to go on foot? Or drive into the driveway? Because it's a house. I think the late 70s. So Alistair Crowley owned it for a bit. Jimmy Page had it for a bit. Fell into there was a cafe later on. Fell into disrepair. I think it's
not sure in that time.
Currently in disrepair. But it's at this moment in time. It is believed the necromancer, not Spellstone, is there. And you, I think, Diamond Gizzard, you possibly were there in the assault when you were trying to stop the druids being resurrected. In one of the underground cellars, sealed up, trapped in a protective circle, are 5 ancient druids. Hengist, Blaze, one of the Merlins.
I refer you to my previous answer. Let's not mess around with
an Iron, and Taliesin.
Do what we needed to do and get out without waking anybody up.
Thought druids were supposed to be good guys.
Well, yes, these 5 are part of the Druids Council, and the only reason there is Alistair Crowley was attempting to summon Thelema. Guy's an idiot. Summons these 5 druids just as they're perfecting the druids ban on Morgan Le Fay, and because that failed, Morgan Le Fay was able to run amok, escaping what's that place called? Anoon, where she was hiding and pretending to be Rhiannon.
Yeah, as I say, let's not let them out.
So they've been there centuries, are quite pissed.
Oh. Yeah.
So how would you like to approach?
Carefully. Well, perhaps we should stop the car, not necessarily drive down
Remember me?
driveway straight off. Maybe
Never dealt with the
park at the top of the
necromancer
drive
before,
and
so I really don't know how to approach his house.
have a scout.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
You have a dead body and a time machine in the back of the car. You could possibly squeeze in the Antikythera device in the boot with the dead body, just to lock it there. Each of you has got the ability of flight 1.
Oh, with the
Grade 1.
with the Kestrel ring.
Yeah, so that has no effect on your ability to fly. It doesn't
Okay.
increase your ability to fly. It's
Um,
so for Mercury Man, it's purely a communication device.
Okay. I would tend to.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be park up on the main road, near the drive down, and then maybe just fly around, scout
Getting
around.
late. It's getting late. There's very few lights about because it's a rural setting, and it's Scotland, so it's cold, and you feel that it could begin to rain. The full moon in the sky.
A full moon.
Yeah, there's full moon in the sky. Possible chance of lightning. You don't go to a necromancer's house unless it's pitch black, full moon, rain, lightning. Yeah. It's written. I can't do anything about that. I'd like to help, but that's the rules. It was bright sunshine.
Yeah.
When you pulled out, it was bright sunshine. You go,
There's
let's
a
go to the
cartoon
necromancer's
Great
house.
Dane
Suddenly
when
it
you
goes
want
dark,
one.
full moon, rain.
Well,
I honestly, shall we just
Oh,
knock on his
yes.
front door and say, "Excuse me, we're wondering
Well,
if you
then,
could help us."
Is that a plan to me? Yeah. That's what I've said. That's what I said from the start. It's sort of like,
Let's do it.
we're asking for help. Let's just walk.
Oh,
We are Jehovah's Witnesses. Do you have time to speak
Yeah.
to? No. Can you resurrect our dead mate?
well,
he'll either turn us into mind-controlled
just
zombies, or he might
walk in
say,
front of the
"Yeah,
house
all right."
and just do the.
So
Okay.
you drive down to the drive. There are a couple of cars. There's a console Capri and another 1960s car. Can't think of any more 1960s cars. Vauxhall Victor. We go with that.
Mhm.
It's quite well kept. The grounds, like he's got a gardener.
Necromancer with standards.
Very, very well manicured. Is the first thing you notice.
Okay.
With staff is what you're getting as a sense.
Okay.
So open the door. So you open the door of the car and bung the Antikythera device in the boot. Go up to the entrance, and there's a metal doorbell. One of those you pull things.
Yeah.
Pull it, and there's a ding dong.
Not as cheesy as the hunchback bottle that
Like,
opens the
each of
door.
you roll your eyes. It's
I was
that
thinking.
cheesy.
I was thinking exactly the same again.
After a few moments, the door creaks open, and somebody in a Prussian uniform who
Wasn't
look, he's
expecting
dead.
that.
The guy's dead clearly, but he's wearing a Prussian officer's uniform, and from his hand, he picks a card
You would like to speak to the
and points at
necromancer,
you, and the card says,
please.
"Yes." Puts the card back, and you can see he this guy's undead, He fumbles through the cards again and produces another one, which is upside down.
I'll buy.
It says, "Please
Is
put
there
the
any
milk
milk on the doorstep?"
around the back."
Oh my god.
No.
Is the necromancer at home, please?
Fumbles through the paper, and
Take me to your leader.
it's a question mark. And he puts the card back in his hand and produces the same card again.
Your turn.
What's that?
Think about what he would call him.
Well, to be honest, I was about to go around the back. And,
We've hit the comedy section. May we speak with your master?
Yeah. Well, I will say, do you understand what we're saying?
So you produce a card. The master is in the study. I will
quite talkative for a dead guy.
Follow me. She says, "Follow me." Opens the door.
Yep, fair enough. Yep.
So the zombie's not going to know he's called the necromancer. He's just going to refer to him as master. So he turns and he starts walking down. It's not a big house, but for effect, this feels like a really long corridor. Opens a door to the right, and there is a study filled with books, and it's got a manor house feel to it. There's some armchairs,
Cool.
a dome globe that's open with beer bottles in, with wine and whatnot. And he just waves his hand and beckons you to sit. There's 2 seats.
I'll stand.
So around the walls are just books. Every book you can think of. You scan. There's Titus Crow, My Life in Dreams. There's a whole host of that's the only book I can think of a variety of books. Necronomicon 2, The Wonder Years. Yeah, every occult book you can think of. There's lots of crazy stuff. After a few moments,
as long as you say it's not
a guy opens the door wearing a smoking jacket, looking like fit. Oh, yes, that would be funny. You caught me at a rather awkward time. Jeeves released a gimp. No, he's
Oh, mega!
I've lost my track. He's wearing a smoking jacket and he looks like Vincent Price.
Brilliant.
He has a black cat. He has his arm stroking. I see we have guests. What brings you to this godforsaken
I do appreciate
place?
that this
isn't the
possibly
blasted
an
heath, you know.
inconvenience to yourself, but we wouldn't trouble you unless it was of import. We would request your assistance if you would be so kind.
I am, of course, the greatest sorcerer of my generation.
2023.
Where have you come from? His head kind of shakes a little bit, and I was going to say, was it a long drive?
Yes.
What do you mean 2023?
We are from a different timeline. where it was 2023.
We're from the future.
And we have become trapped here, which events of which have led us to your door.
Intriguing. Intriguing. Interesting. I may be able to help you. Let me get a bit of paper. Puts the cat down. He gets a pad and a paper out, and he starts asking questions about. Essentially, for the next 20 minutes, he starts pumping you for information about stuff that could make money. Apple computers, you say? I should invest in Apple computers. Mobile what? What's a mobile phone?
T5.
I'll invest. Yeah. He's just kind of asking. Yeah. C5.
DeLoreans. You've got to invest in DeLorean.
We're using the C6 time machine. It broke. Yeah. Elrond, not Elrond.
I've heard of Enron. Yes, I don't know if that's
the American company that went past it. Enron. Is it Spangelman? Who's that? There's an American banker that set up the that cricket league and was found to have
certainly did.
Ripped off by £1 billion. Bernie Madoff, yeah. If you find Bernie Madoff, he's good one to invest. He's one to invest in. Yeah. So it's going on like 20 minutes. He's taking notes. He's essentially, if you say you're from the future, he's trying to get some ideas of.
Bitcoin.
He's only thinking money, though. He's not thinking future events about whether the Cold War ends or whether. Nuclear weapons, who becomes the superpower. It's purely what can he invest in to make money.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yes. It doesn't. Yeah, it seems purely capitalistic rather than historic, as it were. So that goes on for like 20 minutes. He goes, okay, that's really good to know. What would you like me to do to assist you?
Which brings us to the dead person in the boot of our car.
Sorcerer. I can't
of course, yes.
Travel dimensions. Oh, it's always a dead person in the boot of the car. Look, if it's another dead hooker, I can't simply make them vanish. You just need to freeze them for 24 hours and then put them through a wood pulper, wood chipper out into the lake. That's the and then maybe something will eat them. That's the only way to do it. That's the standard operating procedure for getting rid of dead bodies. It's rather simple,
on the other
quite
hand,
elegant.
We have the watchmaker.
Just need to burn off the wood chipper afterwards, make sure there's no DNA left. Do I know?
Which
you brought the watchmaker.
Brought the watchmaker to your driveway
to my house,
and he's dead.
And he's dead,
but not by our hand.
Well, that's
we have
interesting.
An idea, but we cannot be 100% certain.
Yep. Okay.
On Terry.
Bring him in. Bring him into the my laboratory in the cellar. I will send assistants. And 4 guys dressed in Prussian uniforms will come out and assist carrying the body down into the cellar. And it's quite there's a moment, almost as if somebody's put music on to the Death March, and you are in a kind of walking down this corridor, down the steps, in a line. 2 of the zombies are carrying like flaming torches and stuff. It looks like you walk straight onto a hammer set. Down into the corridor. There is a pentagram with a an iron circle
They would do that.
Sorted.
jammed into the ground. It says lay the body on the ground. He mumbles something which sounds. I'm going to attempt to read it, but I may fail because I'm not that good at. Let me just get the.
Oops,
Put the
might have
body-
been a bit
Put the body
clumsy
ground
there,
as well.
putting him on the ground. Watchmaker might have a headache.
Yai Nig Nagar
I
Yog
may not be an
Sofoth
expert, but I
Heal-
think we're in serious shit.
Legeb Fight Thorog Dog.
Yeah,
Aye.
Brilliant.
It's the incantation that Charles Dexter Ward used to raise the dead. It's the only thing I've got. There's a shaking, and for effect, for a split second, you think he may have thrown some mercury on a candle nearby because there's some flames. It's a degree of 1950s theatrics to it. But after a moment, there's a split second where you can hear, where you think you can hear the sound of 4, 5 people behind a wall behind you saying help. You ignore that as the watchmaker stands up in front of you, alive.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Kevin.
And I think that's a perfect place to
That
leave
was
it.
wonderful.
Yes,
Thank you very much, chaps.
excellent.
I was worried that we were going to
No
have
problem.
trouble with this, but
That's-
up to now it's been quite decent. Thank you very much for your input.
Made good progress today.
Yes, you are a hair's breadth away from getting back. Obviously, you need to decide whether you can take a nuke or not, or just go with what you've got. So when you get back, you have to.
Church is
You are
not as
going
tough
to
as
go
a
up
werewolf.
against the Nightmare Queen. But you could have help if you released the White Queen, who's trapped in Buckingham Palace, who those 30 elf things are going to try and kill.
And we're going to have to.
That might be. You got no. There's no other superheroes you can get your hands on.
The plan will be,
Well, maybe
on the assumption
maybe there's
that
one
we
or two,
actually
but
get to
the bulk
Tachyon, is to
dead.
try and get him to get us back to our universe
Yeah.
before we actually screwed up and went to Stonehenge.
Yep. And catch her just as she's coming out. You would need some method to capture her. So yes, if that would be your plan, that's Tachyon's more than capable of doing that once you're in the Kestrelverse.
Back in time,
because you went in and say 12
stop
o'clock.
the attack on the White Queen in Buckingham Palace. I suppose we've got a couple of different options there. Lovely stuff.
Yep.
No, that's fantastic.
Something to think about for 3 weeks.